weekend's news Broom at 1. I'm Stephen Compton. First, the headlines. Government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Health, confirmed 4 active cases of mpox virus. It says it has activated a case management team to curb the spread of the virus. Cross-section of Liberian citizens declared over the economic situation of the country, calling government to find a remedy to the increase of commodity prices across the country. And also coming up in the news, an 18-year-old man identified as Emmanuel Toh has been charged and forwarded to the Monrovia City Court for allegedly raping a 9-year-old man identified as Favor Dagba to death. The details of these developments, the news bulletin, and the actual voices of the newsmakers are our package. We are taking a very short break to be right back. Welcome back, and up next is the bulletin of news with Otis Sankam.
The Ministry of Health and the National Public Health Institute of Liberia has confirmed 4 active cases of mpox virus in Moserado, Mangibi, and Sano County. Speaking at a joint press conference here on Sunday, MPhil Director General Dugbek Yan lauded the Liberian media and the government for their cooperation. In response, the Ministry of Health says it has activated its case management pillar for immediate transfer of patients to the National Infectious Disease Center for continuous professional medical care. The ministry urges citizens to remain calm and report cases promptly. Additionally, the ministry is pleased to inform the public that Liberia has received mpox vaccines and advised that citizens seek medical attention at the nearest health facility when showing signs and symptoms. Recent survey conducted shows that many Liberians are dissatisfied with the manner and form the country's economic status is going and are calling on the government to remedy the situation. Speaking to Spoon TV recently, Lady Favor expressed her dissatisfaction in the government. According to her, she is not in school because her mother is unable to raise her fees for this academic year. Little Favor, who further narrated that her mother is a cookbowl seller but barely sells over 20 cups, like in time past, attributed the slow sales to the high cost of living under the Bwaka Kun administration. Also speaking, Sarah's Liberian expressed their regrets in the administration for its inability to tackle the economic hardship. According to them, Mr. Bwaka promised Liberian to handle the bread and butter issues when elected, but it's almost 2 years they are yet to see anything of such. The King Institute Mission School System in Valley Community Ganta City, Nima County has come under serious criticism for failing to register its students for the 2025 West African Senior School Certificate Examination despite allegations of collecting examination fees from 6th, 9th, and 12th graders. According to the student, the institution collected LD 7,000, 5,000, and then that's 9,000 from 6th, 9th, and 12th grader, but failed to process the WAS registration. The student added that they did not take the mock exam, which is used to prepare candidates for the WAS. The president of the Student Council government, Surprise Tuan, attributed the situation to the lack of instructors in classes to insufficient funds to pay teachers. Meanwhile, sources confirmed that the school administration has been summoned by the district education officer following the student continuous outcry. The Liberia Council of Churches has commended the House of Representatives for peacefully and legally resolving the leadership crisis in the lower house. LCC Secretary General Reverend Christopher Toll congratulated Representative Richard Kuhn on his election as Speaker of the House of Representatives. Addressing a press conference here in Monrovia on Friday, Reverend Toll said the recent election at the House of Representatives and the peaceful and legal transfer of power portrayed the lawmakers' affirmation of the rule of law. The LCC Secretary General extended appreciation to former House Speaker Fernando Kofa, the rule of law caucus, and the majority as well as the minority bloc for embracing the council mediation and accepting the ruling of the Supreme Court. Reverend Toh also lauded the Supreme Court for interpreting its ruling without fear and favor, saying that the names of the current bench will go down in history as an institution that stands for the respect for the rule of law and save democracy in Liberia. The National Civil Society Council of Liberia has ended a one-day deliberation aimed at strengthening CSO engagement and awareness on climate action initiative in Monrovia. The project, entitled Strengthening CSO Engagement and Awareness Through Climate Action Initiative, was supported by the Conservation International Liberia and the Swedish Embassy. Speaking at the ceremony marking the beginning of the discussion, the members at large, the National Civil Society Council of Liberia, Veronica Johnson, disclosed the main objectives of the deliberation, which center on climate change, the effect of the drawdown of USAID funding, and the issues of conducting election for the new leadership for the NCSCL. Madam Johnson encouraged the CSO to network and to combine efforts and resources in working together on thematic areas to strengthen their contact with donors and international partners. For his part, the coordinator of the Mosharara County chapter of the National Civil Society Council of Liberia, George Kingsley, described the deliberation as a learning curve for CSO and cautioned participants to take whatever was discussed seriously. Ambassador Kingsley lauded Conversation International and the Swedish Embassy for supporting the deliberation and discussion. The discussion brought together 40 participants from CSO, CBOs, faith group, and non-governmental organizations from all over Mosharado County. Representative Anthony Williams of District Number 2, Maryland County, has raised serious concern over the illegal presence of Burkina Bees national in the southeastern region of Liberia. Speaking in an interview, Representative Williams disclosed that the Burkina Bees are not residing in local villages, but are instead occupying remote forest areas, primarily in the counties of Rivergy, Bank, Maryland, and Nimba County. He alleged that these individuals are engaging in illegal activities, including the destruction of Liberian forest resources without the knowledge or oversight of the Liberia Immigration Service. Representative Willen further warned that the situation poses a potential security threat, recalling that some trained Burkina Faso fighters were present in Liberia during the country's civil war. He urged the government to take swift action to investigate and address the matter. The lawmaker also referenced a previous incident in Bong County where Burkina Faso nationals were reportedly caught producing illegal chemical, adding to the growing concern over their activities in the region. The grand jury of Montserrat County has indicted Bill Jala for the alleged murder of Princess Zuo Wisset. According to the indictment, Jala is charged with murder, criminal attempt to commit murder, and aggravated assault. The investigative report revealed that Bill Jala fatally stabbed Princess Wisset with a knife on December 21, 2024 in the Dupo Road area. The report added that the knife used in the attack was found at the scene, and Jala admitted to the act during questioning. Meanwhile, the indictment states he acted with malice and intent, hiding the weapon under his clothes before confronting the victim. Serious people are homeless due to the sea erosion at 24th Street in Single. According to some residents of the area, some disadvantaged youth, referred to as Zoku, are usually seen mining sand along the beach. King's Ever investigation has established that approximately 4 houses have been damaged by the erosion. The Commercial Code of Liberia has shut down the head office of Satcom Liberia in Congo Town for violating intellectual property rights. The court action reportedly followed a Supreme Court ruling on February 18, 2025, which found Sanctum guilty of illegally up-airing sports content without permission. The case was brought before the court by Movement for Progressive Change political leader and management of the consolidated group Samuel Freeman. The NPC political leader accused Satcom and K3 Telecom of showing exclusive DSTV content like the English Premier League and the Spanish La Liga without authorization. Freeman argued that his company has lost over US 5 million due to the unauthorized broadcast. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has ruled that Satcom knowingly broke the law and harmed the right of DSTV owners. The court has therefore banned Satcom from broadcasting the content and warned that any further violation will lead to attempt charges. An 18-year-old man in Madrid has been charged and forwarded to the Monrovia City Court for allegedly raping a 9-year-old minor identified as Favor Dagban to death. Police investigation revealed that defendant Toe Wallet, known as Black Cat, allegedly raped the victim in her genital and anus before strangling her to death. Defendant Toe allegedly committed the act on Sunday, May 4th, 2025, in the New Lane Community, Lower Mangibi County. The victim's lifeless body was discovered in a pool of blood in the nearby cassava patch in Saytown Community, Lower Mangibi. According to LNP investigation, the man was found with her genital anal areas ruptured. Police detailed investigation further revealed that on Sunday, May 4th, 2025, the victim left her mother Susanna Wahid resident in Saytown, Lower Mangibi County, to fetch water from a nearby well but did not return home. The LMP investigation maintained that the minor lifeless body was discovered a distance away from defendant Toll residence. The investigation revealed that defendant Toll was reportedly seen at the well by an eyewitness identified as Linda Conan around the same time the minor went to fetch water. It is also alleged that Toll forcibly took her into the nearby cassava patch where the crime were committed. Meanwhile, defendant Toll has been charged with murder and statutory rape in violation of Chapter 14.1 and Chapter 14.70 A and B of the Revised Penal Code of the Republic of Liberia. The News Bulletin.
Ote sunk on there with the news. A border thing is a regular feature on King's News Broom. 45 minutes of news about Liberia and the rest of our one world. And in one of our top developments, government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Health, confirmed 4 active cases of Mpox virus, says it has activated a case management team pilot to combat the spread of the virus across the country. We are taking a very short break. To be right back. Welcome back. Let's not take our first development. The Liberia Council of Churches has commended the House of Representatives for peacefully and legally resolving the leadership crisis in the lower house. LCC Secretary General Reverend Christopher Toll congratulated Representative Richard Cohn on his election as Speaker of the House of Representatives. Addressing a press conference held in Monrovia recently, Reverend Todd said the recent election at the House of Representatives and the peaceful and legal transfer of power portray the lawmakers' affirmation of the rule of law.
The Liberian Council of Churches commends the peaceful and lawful resolution of the recent leadership dispute in the House of Representatives. We congratulate the Honorable Richard Nangbe on his election as Speaker of the 55th National Legislature, affirming the power of democracy and the rule of law. We extend appreciation to former Speaker, Honorable J. Konati Kofa, the Majority Bloc, and the Rule of Law Caucus for embracing our mediation and respecting the Supreme Court's ruling. Their actions, lifting suspension, awaiting legal judgment, and agreeing to a peaceful transition, reflects a mature commitment to democratic values. We acknowledge the leadership of President Joseph Newman Boakai Sr., whose respect for constitutional order and recognition of parliamentary majority has strengthened the path to this resolution. We also thank the Supreme Court for its clarifying judgment and the lawmakers who exercise their political will through peaceful democratic processes. The Liberal Council of Churches is grateful to faith communities, the civil society, and all who played, intervened, and promoted dialogue through this period. We urge all parties to continue the path of reconciliation, healing, and national unity. Let democracy prevail when justice, compassion, common good, dialogue, and law guides our action. Let us protect it together.
Liberia Council of Churches Secretary General Reverend Christopher Tode speaking. The Ministry of Health and the National Public Health Institute of Liberia confirmed 4 active cases of mpox virus in Monserrato, Margibit, and Sano County. Speaking at a joint conference held on Sunday, and the health director, Dr. Dube Nyan, lauded the Liberian media and the government for the cooperation.
What's going on here? You want to knock the camera? You got money. You see the town? You get money how right now? Yes. What's the 1,000 debate.
We sincerely apologize. We hope to get our voice during our subsequent newscast. Recent survey conducted shows that many Liberians are dissatisfied with the manner and form the country's economic status is going and are calling on the government to find remedy to the situation. Speaking to Spoon TV recently later favored expressed dissatisfaction and about the government. According to her, she is not in school because her mother is unable to raise her fees for her academic fees.
They say when the will be fine, you're not going to eat. And we're not seeing anything from the government. All right. Thanks for talking. What's your name?
Daniel H. Morrison.
Daniel Morrison. Daniel, what do? You change money or?
Yes, I change money.
You do for it. What's your name?
Everyone, and
What's your name?
everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen,
For the next development, the National Civil Society of Liberia has ended a 1-day deliberation aimed at strengthening CSO engagement and awareness on climate action activities in Monrovia. The project titled Strengthening COS Engagement Awareness Through Climate Action Initiative was supported by the Conservation in International Liberia and the Swedish Embassy. Speaking at the ceremony marking the beginning of the discussion, the member alleged the National Civil Society Council of Liberia, Veronica Johnson, disclosed the aim and objective of the deliberation, which centered on climatic change, the effect of drawdown of usage funding, and the issue of conducting the election for a new leadership for the NCSCL.
Some of the things that we want to discuss has to do with the challenges and the impact that is being felt on civil society organizations. Some of us were implementing usage grants. Now that usage grant is over, they just cut it automatic data. What happened? What are those challenges that we are encountering right now? Are there any impact you want to mention? We also want to look at this issue about climate change. We see now that bulk of our donors are very into this climate change. How can we form a coalition? How can we be able to really forge ahead? What are those challenges that we have? And what are those strengths that we can be able to tap on? Besides that, we also want to be looking at our national leadership structure. You know very well that county coordinators' position as regards to the leadership, they are over in the 15 counties. We should have had election last year. Unfortunately, we had not amended our newly drafted amended constitution. So therefore, other people started coming and saying that high school graduate can come in a space, whereas the constitution say at least university first degree. Even though the constitution is scanty, like I always say, is bunny by the first crafters, but this our leadership, headed by Madam Loretta Alita Popka, pledged and promised to amend the constitution of the National Civil Society Council and give it some flesh. And we have not been sitting. Through her leadership, she has been able to put in an ad hoc committee that have been able to work to give us something needed. And on 2 occasions, some of you here even sat down in the NCSCL hall there, wherein Lawrence Yelu, who is serving as the secretary for that ad hoc committee, came and did a presentation of what we have now. Our elections could not go ahead because people were still saying that we should suspend the constitution and that even a 6th grader can come and lead. And so at the end of the day, we decided that, okay, since we are not lawyers, we sought legal consultation. And the chairperson came back with a report. And the legal practitioner said, once you have a given constitution, you suspended it before that brought other people into leadership. You cannot be suspending it now. In fact, it was wrong and you should not do it. So if it means that you have election, of course, you got to abide by what the constitution says. And the constitution says those that are contesting must be at least first degree holders. County coordinators as well as regional coordinators started to write that clause was something that was divisive.
For his part, the coordinator of the Monserrado County chapter of the National Civil Society Council of Liberia, George Kingsley, described the deliberation as a learning curve for CSOs and cautioned participants to take whatever was discussed seriously. Ambassador Kingsley lauded Conservation International and the Swedish Embassy for supporting the process.
First of all, I would like to extend thanks to the Conservation International and also to the Swedish Embassy and as well to our mother institution, the National Civil Society Council, which is being chaired by Ambassador Loretta Popka, who have been doing extremely well in getting CSOs engaged with the international community and as well as international partners. Being that as it may, it's indeed another learning phase for us because some of us are into conservation, some of us are into climate, some of us are into early warning systems, some of us are into other thematic areas which involve protecting the hemisphere of Liberia. So being that as it may, the program we're about to start, and again, we are all here to listen and to make changes. And we are all here to make sure Liberia become more better than it was used to be.
And now back to this development where cross-section of Liberians have expressed their dissatisfaction about the country economy under the Unity Party government. They get an upset. Wherefore, we sincerely apologize once again. We cannot get you that upset, and this is how we come to the end of today's edition of the news program. To end this bulletin of news, here are top stories. We close the further. Government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Health, confirmed 4 active cases of Mpox virus. Says it has activated a case management team pillar to combat the spread of the virus across the country. A section of Liberian citizens decried over the economic situation of the country, called on government to find a remedy to the increase of commodity prices. And also in the news, an 18-year-old Emmanuel Toll then charged and forwarded to the Monrovia City Court for allegedly raping a 9-year-old man unidentified as Favor Darkberg. There's no like to say many thanks to you. I was a reporter, news writer for making to this news presentation of sources. Otis Sankan was here with the news about the thing. Jenin Pesiman, Sarah Control, and able coordinator the sound. I'm Stephen Conto. Thanks for listening and watching.